Welcome to today's video. Today we are diving into something that is slightly different. We are going to be exploring the UK graduate visa. And for the sake of those that are not aware, I'll touch very briefly on what it is about and what is likely going to be if the rules are implemented, talking about the white paper that was recently released. And because of that white paper, we'll be touching some points. By those points, I'm talking about things like, are students really guilty of what the white paper stated? Why do so many students, or why do some students struggle to get jobs after graduation? Should you still consider the UK? And finally, alternative destinations. The UK graduate visa is a visa route that allows students to stay up to 2 years in the UK to look for an eligible job and work if you're a master's student. And if it's for a PhD student, you have up to 3 years to live in the UK after your studies and look for a job. So for those 2 years, you can work in most jobs. You're allowed to look for jobs. You're allowed to do voluntary work. You're also allowed to be self-employed, to travel abroad and to return to the UK. Now, except I am the one that is actually not understanding it, but that is all about what you can do. In terms of what you cannot do, the only thing that is stated is you cannot apply for benefits, that you cannot access public funds, and you cannot work as a sports person. So that is all I see on the government website. So except after application, these people have a different information from what we have, because sometimes you apply for a visa and they would send you what you can do and what you cannot do, except some of these things are not there. I don't see anything that says here that this graduate scheme is to enable you work in a more skilled role, especially related to your course of study at graduate level. I don't see that information here, but that is one of the problems as to why they are going to reduce this route and review the graduate visa route. Again, for those that don't know, they are going to be reducing the graduate visa route to 18 months. Now, there's no explanation as to is this just for masters or for PhD students. It is just said it will be reduced to 18 months. And then also the white paper says students will have to work at a skilled role, that is a role that is at graduate level, not just any kind of job. So this is like some of the reviews and reforms that will be coming into play very, very soon. So now, taking all this into consideration, I would like to ask, are students actually guilty of abusing the student route? If you check the white paper, it says that the abuse comes from the fact that, one, students mostly come to study with no intention to actually study but to stay in the UK and work. It also says that most of the students at the end of the expiration of their graduate visa start applying for asylum, and they account for about 30% of asylum applications. They also say that most students work at job roles that are not up to the graduate or skilled roles. All right. I may not get everything, but these are like the major ones that stands out for me. Is this true? It's not a yes or no answer, okay? Because actually, if you check the statistics, says that students are applying for asylum. And I've spoken with a couple of master's students that I know, not like in, how will I call it? It's just in a very friendly conversation of, you did so course, why are you now coming to work as a healthcare assistant, or why are you doing this kind of job? And what they'll tell you is they won't take me. They just say they won't take me. So I'm like, how did you know they won't take you? Oh, this other person has applied, he wasn't taken. This person has applied, he wasn't taken. And so many people say you will not be taken if you apply. And that brings me to, why do students after graduation struggle to get jobs? I do not know a lot about PhD students. For some that I know, they've gotten into roles that align with their course of study in the university. But most master students, if we are very honest, are working in a level that is below what they have studied, and for many reasons, which we are going to touch today. I am not a professional. This is just my own observation and my own thinking. And who knows, I might be completely wrong or not. Or these points might actually help somebody out there. Many students could be struggling to get a job after graduation because of their chosen course of study. Fine, everybody have like a course of study that they would prefer to study in the university. But have you checked the job market to see what this role you're going for will actually give to you when you are done? Some fields are so saturated that by the time you're done with studies, it becomes a competition, and you end up, because of pressure, you end up just going to maybe a band two or a band two, three role because your field is too saturated. Some employers would want a UK experience. It could even be through internship. It could be through volunteering. It could be through placement. Does your course allow you to do these things? Do you understand? So there are a lot of things that I think students should put into consideration when they are coming to study in the UK, including some of these points that I've mentioned. Going into courses that are too, fields that are too saturated, and going into courses that either they don't do placements, there's no internship, you can't do anything. You just go do your studies and you're out. No experience whatsoever. To stand out, you have to think ahead. You have to think wisely. You have to think further than what you can see. Also, some students might struggle because they probably applied late after graduation. Possibly, it's a factor. I'm not 100%, but it's like I said, it's my thinking. There are some people that immediately they finish their, I did not study here, so pardon me if I don't get it right. As soon as they are done with their studies, they have done their presentation or defended, or that we call it in Nigeria defense. I don't know if that is how it's called here. As soon as that is done, they start applying even before graduation. I'm talking about the actual ceremony. They start applying. Is it possible that they are applying too late? Because sometimes 2 years can seem like it's a lot, and then you see that, oh, you're running out of time, and then you're now pressured into roles that you would ordinarily not go for. Secondly, or fourthly, you might struggle because not all employers will sponsor you. So you end up not going into a role that you would ordinarily want to do as a graduate, and you end up doing a job that would sponsor you. So these are all of the things that the white paper has considered, and they are concluding that, oh, students are not working in fields that are at the level of their degree. So a lot of things come into play when it comes to some of these reforms that are coming up. Sometimes students choose the wrong course. Maybe in a bid to get admission quicker, you just go for any course that is easy to get. But another thing you should know is that studying in the UK is not an automatic ticket to getting you a job. There are several things that come into play when you start here as a student. There are courses that don't align with shortage skills. I'm not talking about shortage occupation list. There are skills that are in demand. Do your research before coming to study in the UK if that is what interests you, especially going forward because of the reforms that are coming up. If the UK still interests you, I cannot decide for you what you should do and what you should not do. Studying in the UK is not cheap. No matter the cost, whether it's low, something that will land you a high skill or low skill job, no matter the cost of study, I do not see any course in the UK that is cheap at a master's degree level, at whatever level of study, especially for immigrants. It is not cheap. And some people have actually genuinely tried to get roles in their field of study, and they have not been able to. And this is like for 2 years that they had. And now it's going to be reduced to 18 months. That is 6 months less. You have 6 months less now to look for a job. What I would say to you is this: for those that are here now and studying, or those that have already had admission and coming, not everything you hear from students are correct. It's good to get guidance. It's good to hear from past experiences of others, but you have to filter it. You have to know where you're getting your counsel from. Somebody will just tell you that, oh, this thing is too hard, people don't get it. You just buy the idea hook, line, and sinker, and you just run with it. Life does not work like that. People have a way of discouraging others. If they try that, they don't get it, and they just spread that rumor. Oh, I tried here, I didn't get it. And so that does not mean everybody will not get it. Like I said, I'm not in that situation. But the fact that one person didn't get it does not mean that you will not get it. You don't know the person's situation. You don't know what the person graduated with. You don't know anything else about the person. People's destinies are different. People are meant to do different things in life. So if it doesn't work for A, it doesn't mean that it will not work for B. Okay? So filter the information. If you want alternative destinations, you can go to Canada. They offer you a 3-year pathway postgraduate visa. After your studies, you have 3 years to stay. Ireland gives you 2 years. There are other countries, Germany, Australia, New Zealand. Some of these countries have really generous postgraduate visa options. So explore your options in other parts of Europe. I'm not discouraging you from coming to the UK, honestly. If you're genuinely wanting a UK degree, because whether we like it or not, the UK still have some of the top universities in the world. So if you genuinely want a UK degree for your portfolio or for whatever, by all means, it is good. But if you're thinking about settling, you might want to reconsider your decision of coming to the UK at this time, that things are very uncertain. But I'm not in the best position to give this advice. You listen to yourself, listen to what will work for you. Okay. An apple spoils the rest. There's so many people that may have done all these things, seeking asylum at the expiration of their visa, and plenty other factors that may have led to this decision for reform. Immigration in the UK is becoming complicated, more complicated than I ever thought it would be. So let me know in the comment section what you think. If you're still thinking of coming to the UK or wanting to go elsewhere, let me know. Okay. And if you've not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please do. And until next time, I'll see you in my next video.